Hi, I'm Rod Davis. I'm the Executive Director of the Port Townsend Chamber of Commerce. Port Townsend is a great place to live, work, play, shop, and I hope you'll come and see us. And if that sounded like the Chamber of Commerce, that's what it was supposed to do. This is an outstanding opportunity for me. I'll tell you a little bit about the process in getting the job. We came here to live our dream, to be near the water, and my personal dream to be able to serve a community in the Chamber of Commerce again. We applied for the Port Townsend Chamber of Commerce. We were invited up for an interview. Did an interview on the telephone, then an interview live with the board of directors and some stakeholders. We were offered the position, and we came up and found a place to live, a beautiful place to live, and started on the 1st of October. So I'm now in my third Monday of being here, and it's been exciting, it's been fun, it's been a whirlwind. It seems the harder I run, the behinder I get, but that'll settle out in due time. There's just so much to learn when you come to a new town and so many people to meet, and it's been fascinating. One of the other responsibilities for this job is to run the Visitors Information Center. That's the first place that most of our visitors go to get information on what happens in this community, and we're blessed to have an absolutely fantastic volunteer corps that staffs the Visitors Information Center. I call them the Brain Trust. I have college professors, I have executives, I have artists, authors, I mean, you name it, and they're down there volunteering their time to Port Townsend. I think my first most important discovery about Port Townsend is that the people who come here to retire, and most of them retire what I consider to be early, late 50s or around the 60 mark, have done exceedingly well in their professional life, and this was a lifestyle choice. So many people that I know in other communities where I've had chambers before and lived, people retire because that's where they retired from the industry that they retired from, and they never moved again, and or they stayed where they are because of a doctor who they've had for 10 years and they don't want to change doctors now that they're getting on in years, and some stay because they want to be near the grandkids, and but the people are here. A high number of retirees came because they like the moderate weather, they like the Victorian nature of the community, they like the historic nature of downtown. They love the marine aspects because we do have a tremendous rich history of shipping and some degree shipbuilding here, and a lot of yacht repair. There's some beautiful, on any given day, there's just some beautiful boats in the harbor. And I probably didn't mention earlier, but I'm also a retired Navy commander, so things that go on the water are always near and dear to my heart. One of the most fun things, I think one of the reasons that I was picked is I build myself as a tech guy. And I don't claim to be an expert, but I understand that tech, computers, PDAs, cell phones, they're really good servants if you don't get seduced by figuring out everything they do and start playing with them. But if you understand what their functions are and how they apply to what business you're in, they're a wonderful tool. There is an opportunity, I think, which I hope to address early in next year, to make the downtown Port Townsend area, the tourist area, if you will, one big Wi-Fi hotspot. More and more communities in the nation are going to this, and it's an attraction because when I go on vacation, I like to be able to turn things off and not be bothered, but for a lot of people, a vacation just means I have to be connected in different ways. And one of the things that we hope to look into is the ability to bring Wi-Fi to the downtown Port Townsend area. This is an amazing place. It's a town of about 9,000 people with 50 restaurants. And we haven't made it through all the restaurants yet, but we have our list and we're working. It's tremendous food with all sorts of ethnicities and spices, local ingredients. It's a community that is very dedicated to the environment. It's a community that's extremely dog friendly. Being a dog lover but don't have a dog, it was one of the things that struck me right away. Is everywhere you go, there's dogs in the stores, there's dogs in the streets, and it's one of the things I don't think we advertise enough, that Port Townsend is a dog-friendly community, and to a very large extent, it's a child-friendly community. We've got some beautiful state parks. The largest state park in the state of Washington, Fort Worden, is here with its lighthouse and its cannons. And we were out this weekend in our exploring, and we went to Fort Flagler, which was built as a World War I protection from invasion, and they still have some of the original guns in the bunkers. And so it's a historic Victorian seaport. We have a parade of Victorian homes that are open every year. We had this weekend, there was a mushroom festival, there was a fruit show, there's an art tour, and the arts are flourish in this community. And to flourish, you have to have three things, and one of those is you have to have the patrons that are willing to support them. We have that. Then you have to have a place where the artist can associate with other artists and hone their skills. And we have that in several places, but Centrum, which is in the process of creating a lifelong learning center at Fort Worden, offers a tremendous range of courses. To give you an example, I went into PT Computer to buy a cell phone, and the young lady who sold me the cell phone was very, very good. She knew everything she was talking about. She knew exactly what she was doing. She took that cell phone, she pushed all those buttons and made it do everything that it was supposed to do in quick time. And when we finished, I said, "You're very impressive. You're knowledgeable. You're pleasant. You're easy to get along with." A woman before me had not been easy to get along with. It would have been a real challenge for me to keep my smile and deal with her for 25 minutes, only to have her to tell me that, "Well, you don't have what I want. Bye." Turn around and walk away. But Margaret is this young lady's name, and so I was talking to her, and she's a college-trained opera singer. Graduated from college, went to Germany, which is apparently where you go if you're into opera. Appeared in many professional performances in Germany, and then the next step is to if you're good enough, you get hired into New York. But she decided that opera really wasn't going to be her thing, and she's back here. She's working at PT Computer and looking to become a nutritionist. The young lady who I interviewed for a position at the Vic as a part-time coordinator for the volunteers, and she works her days in a pet care facility, dog daycare and overnight kennel boarding. And on weekends, she goes all over the Puget Sound trimming the hooves of pot-bellied pigs. And smart, energetic, these people that live here, that we've had the good fortune to meet and to talk to, have just been astounding. I mean, you can just stop anywhere you are and say, "Tell me why you're here," and the story will just absolutely amaze you. Some came because of the art, some came because they're artists, some came to we've got one gent who volunteers, who writes a column for San Francisco papers, but he would prefer to live here because he likes the water and the speed of life. And it can be hectic when we have a lot of visitors in town, and not so hectic when we don't. As I said, I've been here, this is my third Monday, and we're just beginning to understand what the community's like. But when I go home to Adelma Beach, which is on Discovery Bay, with 60-foot trees on three sides and then a big green swath going down to the bay, you know, it's hard to go in the house and still be tense from work. You just take a deep breath and look at God's handiwork, and you say, "Wow, this is the right place to live."